They believe found at Justin Bieber's home, but he's not arrested. Why not? Call me. 1-877-JVM says 1-877-586-7297. What do you think about this? Straight out to our fantastic Lion's Den debate panel. We begin with TMZ's Mike Walters. TMZ broke this story. Mike, describe the drama of this raid on Justin Bieber's mansion and what you know.
Well, Jane, it was crazy this morning. We first got the phone call that over 10 LA County Sheriff's cars were descending on Justin Bieber's mansion in Calabasas. Once we heard the press conference, you were told there were over 12 deputies/detectives that went and raided this house. This was not a small deal. This was a bunch of cops. When we got in some of the video and photos of this raid, you can see they took this egging very seriously, and you're seeing the fallout. And we all knew, come on, they're looking for evidence in a felony vandalism case throwing eggs. What they really were going to find was exactly what they did find, which is drugs, hard narcotics. And look, yes, they arrested Lil Zay, who's a rapper/actor, who's a friend of Justin Bieber's. Justin's not under arrest, but we all know this. If there's drugs in Justin Bieber's house, Justin Bieber knows about it. And this kid is now under arrest with MDMA.
That's not true at all.
Well, wait a second. Okay, hold on a second.
I disagree with that completely. I disagree with that completely. This is ridiculous, Jane. It takes 10 to 12 officers to go to his house to search for a felony warrant involving egging someone's house. This is a waste of taxpayer dollars. You can't just impute knowledge. You can't say that just because drugs were found in Lil Zay's room that Justin Bieber knew about it. In the criminal justice system, you have to prove that he's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and he has to know, Jane. He has to know. And if it was in Lil Zay's room, how can you necessarily say that he knew about that? And not only that, Jane, but it's really important what you said yesterday on your show. You said people should be treated equally in the criminal justice system. I agree with that. Justin Bieber should not be treated
How is this equal, Kendra G, where Lil Zay takes the rap, but Justin, the beefs, it's his house. Nothing happens to him.
Okay, first of all, Justin Bieber, of course, knows what's going on in his house. It's his house. He's participating in the drugs. Right now, Justin Bieber is out of control. It's not unlikely. No,
but it is his house.
It's his house. Okay, Jane, you think he honestly does not know there's drugs in his house? Come on now. Let's understand. We have been watching Justin Bieber fall for the last year and a half. This is a boy who's 19 years old, worth more than $100 million. He's out of control. He needs a good shaking from his mother, but she's probably on vacation living off of his money right now. So you know what? I'm not surprised by any of this. I'm really not.
First of all, I want to know Lil Zay.
Let's say that I'm a driver of the car and the passenger has drugs on his person, and I automatically guilty because the passenger happens to have drugs on their person.
If you have been arrested within the last year, if you have been arrested within the last year, if you have been arrested in the last year, then yes, I would say you're guilty.
Yeah, but guys, let's be honest. Justin Bieber should not be placed on a situation where the court needs to make an example out of him just because he is a celebrity. That's the flip side of this argument.
This court has not made an example of him at all. Okay, he's allegedly spit on a neighbor. A neighbor says he spit on him. Somebody else says that he's driving in high speed in the neighborhood with his fancy cars. He's got a Karma Fisker. He's got a Ferrari, reportedly. He's now accused of egging a neighbor's house to the tune of $20,000 because he has to have his plaster removed. They're not. Au contraire, not only are they not picking on him, but they don't even arrest him when they find drugs in his house.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. Let me say this.
But see, all the things that he's...
No, and here's what's happening.
All the things that you're talking about, Jane, you can't arrest someone for being a spoiled brat.
You're a Bieber fan.
No,
he's a Bieber fan.
Actually, I am not really a believer. I'm not a believer, but I am a defense attorney, and I would defend him to my last breath, okay?
You must have believed in all of that.
One at a time. One at a time. Exactly. Why isn't the owner held accountable when drugs are found in plain view? This is not in his pocket.
This was in plain view in Lil Zay's room. The owner's not responsible.
It's not his room. It doesn't matter. It's his house.
But let me say this. Let me say this. Don't you think the officers want to arrest him? Obviously they do. They sent 11 officers there. Why else do they spend so many resources? They want to bust him.
Because
they didn't have probable cause to arrest him. That's what it comes down to.
I told them to take action against Justin Bieber. I said, take action against Justin Bieber. So that's a show. They sent 11 cop cars there. But the proof is in the pudding. If they had arrested him, that would have been taken action. First of all, I'll throw in as an animal rights activist, do you know how much those hens have to suffer to produce one egg? To destroy 20 eggs like that is disrespectful. It's just arrogant and disrespectful. What? It's what 12-year-olds do. It's not what 19... No, I'm not kidding. You go look it up. They have to suffer for a long time to produce one egg in a tiny cage.
Disrespectful to chickens?
Yes.
Oh my
yes,
God.
it is.
Yeah, but Jane, I agree that let me say this. I agree that Justin Bieber is acting like a spoiled brat, right? And I agree. I mean, egging, that's ridiculous. That's something, like you said, 12-year-olds do. But at the end of the day, he's not going to jail. No good defense attorney is going to let him go to jail on a lower-level felony that could be reduced to a misdemeanor. He has to pay the restitution. The court considers the fact that he has no criminal history. Not on my watch. If I'm the defense attorney, of course you're not signing up for jail. Now, should he be taught a lesson?
Sure,
but
here's the thing. If you're rich and famous,
all the neighbors on that street have piles of Xanax next to their beds. Miley Cyrus wrote a whole song about Molly, and you know, I don't get it. I don't get it. You can't blame one kid because he's famous.
I'll tell you why it's a problem, Wendy. Let me tell you why it's a problem. Because we have more people in prison in this country than any other country in the world, and a lot of them are doing decades of hard time for nonviolent drug offenses. And we like to believe we live in a country where everybody's treated the same when it comes to criminal justice and how much time you do. But that's not the
case.
Mean you
lock up Justin Bieber. That doesn't make it better.
I think that
wrongly and gratuitously lock up
you
a rich
should
white
not
kid to
say
make up
that
for
he
the
can't
poor
be
black
locked
guys.
up because he lives in a big house. Oh, because he has a mansion, that means the drugs didn't belong to him? Because I'm not saying they did. But I am not saying that he should get a pass because he lives in a mansion. Whew. All right. And please call me on this. This handsome man who was sitting next to his wife checks up on his daughter on text. They have an argument. The old guy goes to complain. And when he comes back, that guy, the guy who was killed, says, hey, you know, I was just calling my daughter to see if she was okay. I'm checking up on my 3-year-old daughter. The guy doesn't care. Then the guy who's eventually the victim, this guy throws popcorn at the killer, and that's when the retired cop just shoots him dead. Unbelievable. What's wrong with this retired cop? Not a good move. And I'll tell you, the folks out in the street say they're going to be very careful. I'm very careful. And, you know, I'm obnoxious quite often because I'm a native New Yorker. So I say things. Now I'm very, very careful and meek. Anybody, oh, yeah, you want to spill coffee on me? Go right ahead. Go right ahead. Because I'm terrified.
But Jane, you raise a good point.
Well, I don't think you have to be that. Well, you raise a good point. I live in
California where you have to be very careful. I live in Southern California where everyone drives, and you have to be careful about road rage. I mean, I never flip anyone off because I'm scared that someone would pull out a gun.
Well,
and that's the reality
helpful.
of the situation.
In the long run, it's all going to be more helpful because maybe we will become more civil towards one another.
No, killing is never a good thing. I want to ask one last question. Anna Yum, do you believe that because he's an ex-police officer, he felt that he had the authority to tell this guy, well, if stop it, and when he didn't, did he get confused and think, oh, I'm still a cop? Even a cop would be obviously in serious trouble for doing this. But is this a sense of sort of like a sense of authority working overtime?
That may have been a factor, Jane. Honestly, it might be. He may have had a chip on his shoulder. He may not have liked the fact that this person told him, "Listen, I'm not going to listen to you," and he got angry about it. But let's think about this. He actually did the right things in the beginning, right? He tried to defuse the situation. He went to talk to a manager. He came back, and then this poor victim, he started mouthing off to him and saying, "Did you tell on me?" And then it just got provoked and provoked to the point where it escalated beyond belief. I'm with Jay Wendell on this. How do you throw popcorn in the face of a 71-year-old man?
Oh,
I might get some heat for saying that, but that's something to think about. That's something to think about, right? I'm not
You're all out of your minds. You're all out of your minds. There's no justification for shooting somebody.